Well, it all started about a year ago. I'd gotten a letter in the mail notifying me that I'd just inherited a digital farm in Iowa from my long lost Uncle Larry. Now, I didn't know Larry. I didn't know nothing about farming, let alone digital farming. But I've been reading that digital currency has really taken off. Some people are even making millions trading digital money. So I thought, why not digital farming? So, after about a year getting everything in order, digitizing the wife and I loaded myself into the digital farming world and gave it my best shot. Welcome, everyone, to my Flint Hills, Iowa farm. Now, the first thing on any farmer's list is picking the absolute most perfect farming outfit to get started with. Not too shabby. Like the way that looks. Ooh! Cowboy hat don't look half bad. Let's go with something a little more practical to fit inside a tractor, shall we? Oh my gosh. Loading into the digital world is rough. Woo! Alright. First things first. Guess I'll show you guys around. Well, right up here is the kitchen to the office. Right through there, we got ourselves a meeting room with a big screen TV. Now, I must say, for getting left a digital farm, Larry sure set me up well with this building right here. Got ourselves, I had to clean up the office downstairs after it'd been sitting a year. So we'll take you right outside. Woo! Crisp out here, only 38 degrees. Early spring. But I mean, if you're gonna inherit a farm, this is gonna be the farm to inherit. I mean, absolutely beautiful. First things first, let's go ahead and repay the bank man money we owe. There was all kinds of closing fees and whatnot. And I had to actually repurchase the land from the bank. So by the time that was all said and done, and I'd gotten my inheritance from Uncle Larry, I was left with about $952,000 in this farm. So let's go take a look around at some of the equipment. Got ourselves an excellent wash bay here. Plenty of room to keep some extra 18-wheelers, trailers, anything I need, get them nice and cleaned off. Now, Larry, I think, spent most of his time working on the building and not necessarily farming because it seemed to be lacking in equipment. I think he used this place more to hang out in. So what do we have in here? The shop. All right, I can do all my repairs on site, upgrades and customizations. Go ahead and shut this door here. Here we go. All right, let's go take a look at the equipment that he left us. Well, I see a John Deere. It's a 8250, I think. Let's see, we got a 720 harvester, an RT, let's see, the 8 series, 18-wheeler. Well, that's it, huh? We might have to set ourselves up with a little better setup, but it is definitely something to get started with. See a bean header, but I do not see a corn header. Let's take a look out here in the other shed and see what old Larry left us. Door open. All right, well, we got ourselves an auger wagon, a planter for some corn. Let's see, that'll do corn and sugar beets. I think it'll do sugar beets, but definitely corn. Now that we're here in Iowa, a little small cultivator. All right. Well, I know what needs to get done first. Even though I don't know nothing about digital farming, The first thing I know is we don't have enough equipment on hand. So let me go ahead and head on back over here to the computer and see what we got for sale on the only what? Decorate for Halloween. All right, hold on. Get the door shut. My wife, she just reminded me that it is October and that I have not put out the Halloween decorations yet. I know it says early spring in the game, but I'm making this here movie in October. So hold on, let me go to the Amazons real quick. Figure out. I know I saw somewhere around here. There was somewhere I could buy some. Here we go. I know Amazon, man. You can find everything online. Coffins. So, hold up, y'all. Let me go ahead and decorate for Halloween. Keep things a little bit festive around here. Can't be shortcutting. You know, did you realize these pumpkins were $1,000 each, honey? Whatever. All right. Well, the next thing I did was go through and I noticed that there's a lot of farmers that need some help. So I decided that was how I was going to make my money. I was going to help these other farmers by just purchasing some equipment. So first thing I did was buy the biggest tractor I could find. It's awesome. Then I went to the hot rod trader and I found myself this pretty cool Lizard Continental with a hood scoop. I went ahead and picked that up too. And then I went and bought myself a cultivator. It was the most expensive one I could find, so I figured it must have been good. And that's how I was going to start my digital farming career. So, first things first was I wasn't particularly fond of Uncle Larry's vehicle. A little bit too plain for me, so I went ahead and took her on back to the John Deere dealership, sold that, hopped in my new Lizard Continental, and hooked up my new tractor. After the gentleman showed me how to do it, I hired a guy to take it back to the farm for me and realized that I actually didn't know how to run any of this equipment, so I decided I was going to go back to the farm and put out a Craigslist ad for some fellas that knew how to run these tractors. Put the first one to work, cultivating a field for somebody else, and then went back to the farm here and I just started loading up my equipment, and I just wanted to get it back to the John Deere dealership and get it all sold. I took each piece out one by one. And them fellers from Craigslist showed up, and I just, sort of hired them each one to take these other vehicles down to the dealership for me. And we were going to just trade this all in and start over from scratch. Well, after selling the useless equipment, well, I wouldn't call it useless, the equipment I didn't like, I went ahead and bought another extremely large tractor and another one of them big cultivators, and went ahead and tried it out myself. Realized I wasn't quite as accurate as the people I had hired, and decided that this might be the last time I run the cultivator myself. Well, after we collected our money for that field, went ahead and told everybody to pack it up, move on down the road to the next field. Meanwhile, I went ahead and kept loading up equipment from the farm to take back down to the John Deere dealership to sell. That way I could purchase more cultivators and more really, really big tractors. At this point, I had 3 of the largest tractors that I could possibly find, and they seemed to be working out quite well for me. I'd begun making money, but only a little bit at a time. The auger wagon that I sold I thought might come in handy later, but at this point I needed the money for different equipment, considering it was only early spring, and the auger wagon probably wasn't going to be useful until harvest time. I went ahead and customized the John Deere tractor that Uncle Larry had left me. It actually wasn't a bad machine, so that it could pull plows. Went ahead and bought 3 of the medium-sized John Deeres, 3 plows, and sent them on their way to do another farmer's field. One of them had managed to get stuck on a bridge, so I had to come down and get him unstuck, and it caused a bit of a traffic jam. But after I'd run one of the tractors through the river, gotten everybody unstuck, I put them to work. After I got everybody unstuck, we went ahead and got to work. It was coming up about halfway through the morning, and I was taking a look at all the crews and their work ethic. I was quite happy with the Craigslist crew that I had hired for the day.
So there was a good boy.
Tell you, man, the hooks on these plows are like fish hooks. They will get stuck on anything that plow even looks at. It was coming up about lunchtime, so I went ahead and hopped out of the tractor I'd been working in all day, jumped into the old Lizard Continental, and tried to find everybody around the fields and find out what they wanted for lunch. But as you know, when you hire folks off Craigslist, you never know quite what you're gonna get. I came across one of my workers that had managed to get themselves stuck in a tree. How? I do not know. Well, after a few choice words with the driver and asking them politely to go home, I went ahead and got the tree unstuck, hired a new driver, and finished out the rest of the afternoon. So that way, everybody could have lunch. While everybody else was eating lunch, I decided I was going to go ahead and get the equipment packed up for the day, get it all nice and organized. That way, after everybody was done eating, we could just head on out and keep on working. I was even a nice boss and went ahead and decided to wash off their equipment for them while they was eating. Well, that concludes the first episode of the Iowa Farm Build. I sure hope y'all enjoyed it. Tune in soon for part 2, after lunch.